Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl again, Valentine Moshoki. If you're new here, you're most welcome. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And as of today, as you've read from the title, today we're going to change up things a little bit. We'll be talking about personal development, and I have a wonderful friend of mine here who is also a coach, who has also been my coach as well, and she's still my coach. And I thought that since I've been on a journey of personal development for quite some time now, I think it's good for me to share with you guys so that you can learn some of the things that I have learned, and yeah, we can be on this journey together. So welcome, Shiko. Maybe you can talk about yourself, say what you do. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so honored to be here today and to share the same platform as you. I'm glad you invited me here.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about your journey too, because I get to be on the front seat to your transformation journey.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And you've been doing a good job, yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah. So my name is Elizabeth Wanchiku, and I'm a life coach. Precisely, I am a productivity and mindset coach. So Valentine today, she told me she wanted to talk about limiting beliefs, and so we are here to talk about that.
Yeah, so maybe you can tell us, you can give us your background, some of the reasons why you decided to become a coach.
Yeah. So for me, it's a long story.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll go into it right now, but before I became a coach, I'd done a different course. I'd done finance, but it wasn't my passion.
Okay.
I really wanted since I was a small kid, I used to say I wanted to be a psychiatrist. But my mom was like, no, you can't do that. So I went on and I did. And it was also weird, by the way, telling people that you want to be a psychiatrist. And they used to ask, like, why do you want to deal with the crazy people?
Even looking back, I don't remember anyone who ever said they want to be a psychiatrist.
I know. By the way, that is a funny story. How one day, I don't know whether we have time for this.
It's okay.
Yeah. But my mom, it was way kitambo. It's a long time ago, and I was a small kid, and there was this program called The Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah.
Did your mom used to watch it?
Yes.
Yeah.
She used to love it actually.
Exactly. And there was this lady who was called Taylor Hayes. So Taylor was a psychiatrist, and one time I was like, I don't want to go to sleep because the kids used to be told, go and sleep, sleep. Yeah.
Personally, I never watched. Yes.
So that day I was like, oh mom, I don't feel like I want to sleep. Let me just watch it with you. And my mom just allowed me to watch. And now I came to know about Taylor Hayes, and she was a psychiatrist. And on that day, I feel like God really had made that happen. It was not by chance.
Yeah.
Because that day, Taylor had a client, and the client came in and said, I want to stop smoking.
Come closer, sorry.
I want to stop smoking, and can you help me with that? So Taylor talked about a hypnosis process that psychiatrists can help you through, and you're going to stop. So at the end of that session, that man had stopped smoking.
Wow.
Because hypnosis.
Yes.
So at this time, I had a family member who was struggling with drinking problems. And at that moment, I just felt, if I can do the same, if I can do what she did, then I'll change
the narrative.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from that time, I didn't even know how to pronounce the name well. So I used to say psychiatrist, do what? Like, really, I didn't know how to say it well.
That small girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I remember, honestly, I just remember we were told by the teacher, I was in class 6, I think. The teacher told us, write a composition about who you want to be when you grow up.
Yeah.
And my goodness, I went and searched how to say the name properly, and I learned I learned how to write the name and everything, and I went and I told that story in a composition.
Wow.
And the teacher, I was the highest.
Wow.
And the teacher read out that composition, and I felt so good, you know. The teacher just said, wow, this is so unique, because you know, all of us used to say, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer,
Yes.
but this was different. It got time for me to go to campus. My mom just said that I cannot be a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And she was coming from a beautiful place, because she just thought that those people who deal with people who have mental issues, she felt like they carry those things with them.
Yeah.
So it's not healthy for them. So she said that she would rather I go do business. So I just went and did business and majored in finance, but it was not really my passion. So many years later,
Yeah.
I had to find what, you know, just like you said, you're on your personal development journey. So when I got to my personal development journey, I had to really find what was really my purpose, because I do believe that everybody has a purpose, and the unique gift God gave you so that you can touch people and make an impact. And for me, it's this. So that's why I went back and became a life coach.
Wow. Wow. That's such a great story, and coming all the way from when you were young, you already knew what you wanted to do. That's amazing.
Yeah. But me going back to school, even years after now choosing the wrong course, just goes to show it's never too late to pursue what is really what you are really passionate about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to go direct into the topic. So can you explain to our audience what are limiting beliefs?
To understand limiting beliefs, you have to understand what is a belief,
Okay.
so that you can know about a limiting one and a positive one. And a belief is something you just believe to be true even without proof, like faith or aliens. People say, I believe in aliens, I believe in God, but there's no proof
Yes,
necessarily. Yeah, I know, but like aliens, you hear that maybe somebody says they saw something, but really there's nothing tangible to say.
Yeah, we've never really seen if they exist or not.
Exactly.
But it's a belief.
Yeah. So beliefs are those, and we every day we are forming beliefs. Yeah. So now you can either have a positive one or a negative one. Now a positive one will be a roadmap to success.
Okay.
But negative ones, they are going to hold you back, because they are going to bring in fear, doubt, anxiety, and insecurities. So yeah, generally that's what a limiting belief is.
Could you give us some examples of what limiting beliefs are? Maybe some examples of types of
limiting beliefs.
Yeah, sorry.
One of the limiting beliefs I can give you is like, I'm not good enough. And that is a very common one in all of us. Yeah.
Yes.
We tend to feel like we are not good enough.
Yes.
And for me, I don't know about you, but I've had it.
the reason why I'm smiling is because it has happened to me so many times, especially when it's time to maybe speak in front of a crowd, or maybe I'm left with a certain responsibility, and it's solely me who is going to be responsible for that thing, if it goes well or not.
Yeah, true.
So sometimes I'll be asking myself questions like, am I sure I'm going to be able to do this? Or sometimes I'll stop myself from doing something just because I feel like I am not enough.
Wow.
Yeah, it has happened to me so many times. So I really have to take time to talk to myself and be like, Val, you can do this. Let's go for it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good example of not being good enough.
Okay.
Not feeling good enough, and a limiting belief. And we all have it. Most of the people have it. And another one, you know, when you are young, our parents used to tell us, so you say like, I want something, and you're told, money doesn't grow on trees. So now what happens is that you grow up with that limiting belief that money is hard to get.
Yeah.
So even if you are trying to get a certain amount of money, you have deep down in your subconscious, you have that limiting belief that money is hard to get. So it's gonna self-sabotage you
in some way.
In some way, yeah. So that's another limiting belief.
Okay.
Another one is not, I'm not worthy to be loved. You know,
Oh.
especially in a relationship.
Yes.
Some people tend to feel not worthy.
Yes.
And so when you feel not worthy, sometimes you may end up in a relationship where you are overcompensating because perhaps you feel the other person is on a high
above your
than you.
level,
Exactly,
maybe.
yeah. Above your level, like you don't deserve them, like they are doing you a favor. It's that limiting belief called that you can say, I'm not worthy
of love.
I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy to be rich. By the way, there are people who actually even feel like, I'm not worthy to be rich. Everyone in my family is poor. Like, we don't even own a bicycle. So who am I to think that, the audacity to think that I can be rich. So you grow up with a limiting belief, like, I cannot be rich, I'm not worthy. And then you end up not being successful in life. And when people tell you, or somebody tells you, you are the one holding yourself back, and you're like, what?
And you're like, why is this person not understanding where I'm coming from?
Yeah. So whenever you hear people telling you you're holding yourself back,
Yeah.
it's always about the limiting belief.
Oh.
Even me, before I knew that, I was like, why people are joking? I want to be rich. Why? How can you tell me that I'm
Because
holding myself
I tend
back?
to think most people actually how they you're right. Most people how they hold themselves back is mainly here.
Yeah, the mind.
Because the first, maybe for example, I'm going to make a speech, and then I start telling myself, I'll not be able to do it. Maybe I'll stammer, ama nitashrub, ama English yangu haiko poa, some of those things. And then now you find yourself, you discourage yourself from even going for it.
Yes.
And maybe if you changed your mind and you be like, okay, yes, I'm afraid. It's okay for me to be afraid.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm gonna go for this. It's better I do it and know that I did it rather than not do it. And I'd be left wondering, like, what if I did it? How would it? Because sometimes, and I'm speaking from a personal
Experience.
point of view, because I've been there. Sometimes I'll get a certain opportunity.
Yeah.
And that was before. I will get a certain opportunity, and then I'll be like, hii kitu yenye mtu ameniambia nifanye nitaweza kweli? Let me not go for it. A very good example also is when I started YouTube. I used to, when I went for it, I was so excited. I was so happy. And then back then, you were there. You encouraged me.
Yeah.
My friend also, Joyce. Thank you so much, Joyce and Mopao and Sam. They really encourage, and Nelly. They really encouraged me. To go for it.
Yeah.
But then all the time, I used to be like, iko poa. I would make videos and not post.
I know.
Until 2 years later.
Yeah, I know.
That's when I decided now I'm gonna go for it.
Wow.
And now that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, and you should be happy about the fact that you actually have done it.
Yeah, because I feel it will really help someone. If you want to start YouTube, stop living in your head, go for it.
Yeah. And actually, as you are talking, I just picked up so many things in terms of, first of all, it's like starting.
Yeah.
If you don't start, you're at zero. But when you start and fail, at least there's progress.
Yeah, that's true.
And most people are always waiting to get better so that they start.
That's in the head.
Yeah. You always want to be like, let me first, I don't have this, maybe I need a tripod, I need I don't know what, I need this and this and this before I ever start, yeah? And then you don't start.
Actually, you find yourself, you're buying so many things that you don't even end up using.
Because it was an excuse to not start.
Now looking back, it was an excuse.
It's true.
And you've said something that really resonated with. There's something my mom told me. She told me, when it comes to anything in life, business, friendship, anything, the biggest problem, or the biggest, not a problem, but obstacle, is to start.
Yeah.
Once you've started, you're good. As long as you have consistency,
Yeah.
eventually it will bear fruits. Yeah, and you learn so much along the way. So starting, if there's anything that you would like to start, if there's a business, there's anything that you would want to do, YouTube, maybe there's a country you want to go to, you want to relocate to another city, just do it.
Just get started.
Just get started.
And you know what, actually, whenever you start, expect to be bad at it.
Yeah.
Actually, just go in there expecting to be bad at it, because you know when it's your first time you're gonna be bad at it.
Yeah.
But with practice and practice and practice,
yeah,
you get better.
Yeah.
You know, especially YouTube, when you start, your video quality is not good. You still editing everything. But you know, you look back maybe 2 years later if you're consistent, and you just find like, oh my God, there's so much growth here.
Yeah.
You know, so, because you got better. And that's why there are all those videos, people saying, oh, let me watch my first. They react to their first video and they laugh because
years later, because
years later, because
why did I not do this here?
Yeah,
right?
But it's because your first time is not gonna be
perfect. Yeah.
But you're supposed to embrace that and just allow yourself to grow and to learn. Every day you should allow yourself to grow and to learn. You cannot grow if you're not learning.
Yeah. And actually it's more of the process than the end thing. It's not about the money, it's not about the feeling, it's about that process, what you will learn along the way
and who you will become.
Exactly.
Yeah, who you're becoming every day.
Yeah.
So
actually that brings another self-limiting belief that I think I would like to say here. It's I am a failure. I think that's a very big that's a very huge self-limiting belief for so many people. What would you say about that?
I'll call that fear of failure.
Or fear of failure.
Yeah, because it comes with I'm not good enough. So because I'm not good enough, I'm afraid I'll try, then I'll fail.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
So that's
so you'd rather not do it.
Exactly, because you shield yourself from failing and now coming to terms that you are a failure.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, everybody, like most people struggle with this, but I'm telling you, the limiting belief there is that I'm not good enough. I'm gonna do this and it's not gonna come out well, and I'll have to come into terms with the fact that I'm a failure.
Yeah.
So now you see the limiting belief comes in with another thing called failure. Fear of failure. Fear. Failure is not bad. You see, one thing, you have to develop a good relationship with failure, because failure is just there to tell you what is working and what is not
working.
You know. Yeah. So once you start putting it into your mind that failure is my friend and failure is here as a lesson to teach me what is working and what is not working. So if I do something and I fail, that means I'm on the right track, because I started, I failed. Now I know what not to do.
Yes,
I know how to do it differently. You know, failure is just a chance for you to wake up tomorrow and do it differently.
It makes me think, if you don't fail, you will not succeed. It means you're not doing anything, because there's no lessons, there's no growth. So you have to pass through that process of failing. You have to embrace it, so that you can be able to
grow.
Yeah.
You have to allow, you know, in life you're gonna fail, but what is important is taking the lessons from the failure and not getting stuck there. You know, ukianguka chini, when you fall down, do you remain there or you wake up, dust yourself up and you proceed? You don't stay on the ground.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and next time, do you know what? If there was a stone or something that hindered you, next time you'll come and look,
and skip
this thing last time I fell down. So you learned your lesson.
Yes.
So that's failure, and we need to develop a good relationship with failure. And there's a book I would recommend to anybody who is dealing with fear of failure. It's called Falling Forward.
Falling Forward.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's Brian Tracy, but it's a nice book for anybody struggling with failure. Yeah.
I think maybe we're going to put a link on the description box.
Yeah, or you can just put up the image of the book.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
So we are going to go to another segment, and that is now that we understand what are self-limiting beliefs, some of the examples. Now we need to know why do we get these self-limiting beliefs. Maybe you can explain to us what that means.
Why we do have these limiting beliefs, yeah? So the reason why we have them is that we have two minds. We have the subconscious mind and the conscious mind.
Okay.
Right now, if I was to tell you, what are you thinking about?
Exactly what we are doing at the moment.
I ambushed you, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. So what are you, when I told you that, immediately you accessed your conscious mind. You know? You just try to ask, oh, what am I thinking about? That's what you can access now. It's the conscious one, the one you know about. So then you have the subconscious.
Okay.
Like right now, as you're seated there, your heart is pumping, your leg is moving, your hand is moving. What happens? You start noticing that, my heart is pumping.
Oh.
Because I said it.
Yes. But I was not thinking about
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Because you say I've just mentioned it. No, you're like, now you can feel. Oh, my heart is pumping. Because it's if you were to think about everything all at once, you'll go crazy. So your thoughts have to be filtered.
Okay.
And that's why we have the subconscious, so that you have at least a little bit to think about, and then the rest is happening in the background.
Okay. That's why it's subconscious.
Subconscious, you don't know what's going on underneath there. It's not conscious.
Okay.
So now, when change comes, you have to deal with the subconscious.
Okay.
And that's why we talk about being intentional. Because when you're intentional, you are directly trying to access your subconscious. And focusing now on this. Yeah. So, subconscious and conscious mind. When you are young, we form our subconscious mind around 8 years.
Subconscious mind.
Yeah, that's when it begins to form, around that age. And at that time, you learn from your environment and what people tell you as a young child. Yeah. So if you are being raised by parents who have limiting beliefs, whatever they are telling you, that is how you are constructing your world and your view of the world. Yeah. So if somebody comes and tells you like money is hard to find,
that's what you're going to believe all your life.
Yes, unless you consciously are aware that that is going on. So what happens? You grow up, and the belief system that you built when you are young is what is running your life. And that's why you realize, if we find that you have a limiting belief of I'm not good enough, and we try to dig deep, because as a life coach, I'll take you through trying to understand where did this limiting belief come from. We can find things about your childhood that are making you feel that way now. And you'll actually feel like I've had people say, like a teacher called me this. A teacher said I'm not good enough, like I'm a failure, I'm what? So we were talking about why, and I was telling you how we got our limiting beliefs when we were young.
Yeah.
And so years later, when you're 25, you believe you are not worthy enough because some person who you respected and loved called you a dog, called you mujinga, you are foolish. And that's why now, as a 25, 30-year-old, you feel not good enough. So this little child, little Valentine, has been the one operating
all this time.
And that's why we talk about even inner childhood traumas.
Yeah.
And how you have to deal with them, the traumas you've been through in life, dealing with them, because now you get an inner critic in your mind, that small voice that tells you you are not good enough. You know, your mom said, look, your mom says, wewe utaishi na nani wewe, hakuna mtu mnaweza ishi na yeye, you know. And now you are in marriage and you just say, even my mom said that, because that limiting belief is still under your subconscious, and it's still running your action. And everything you do, it's influencing you. So yeah, that's why you get limiting beliefs. They're influenced by the environment, the people around us that raise us, and we took them in as ours. And if you don't start looking for the limiting beliefs in your mind and in your life, and challenge them and change them, it will remain the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if, let's say for example,
Mm.
now I know why,
Mm-hmm.
how do I identify some of the limiting beliefs that I have? Yeah.
That's a nice question. So you're gonna I usually give there's a process as a coach. I can help you. We've done it with you, yeah?
Yeah.
Remember? So but a tip for our audience, because unless they want to be coached, but
Yeah.
for now we'll just be giving them tips on things they can do on their own.
Okay.
One tip that one way you can identify the limiting beliefs that you have is you can write down 5 things that you really want, and then you go and ask yourself reasons why you can't get them. Just go and write why is it, so I want this, why can't I get it? As you write those excuses, the limiting beliefs will come out.
Oh, so that's where you come in and try to
Understand. Is that really a reason, or is it the limiting belief that you have?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes you might say, I want to do this, but I don't have money. Yeah.
And actually, maybe it's not even money.
It's not even about
It's
the
just
money.
maybe you even have fear.
Yeah, it's a fear of failure,
That is stopping you from.
And now you're using money as the excuse.
Oh, true.
Because you need, after you write that as a reason, you need to ask yourself, really, is this really the reason? You need to dig deep and understand, is this really the reason? Is money the reason why I'm not doing this? Or is it because that I don't have yet the skill that I'm not doing this? Yeah. So yeah, that's one exercise that I can say you can do on your own and understand your limiting beliefs, identify them.
Okay. So once we've identified, now we have to deal with it, right? What are some of the ways you think someone can go about it? Yeah.
So how you can deal with the limiting beliefs, and actually the point is here, you need to change them to be positive, empowering beliefs. Now you need to change them. So it all begins with you awareness. Awareness is very, very good.
Yeah.
Because once you're aware that something is there, when it starts happening to you, you are like, Chico, this is that thing that you usually do happening again. You can call yourself,
be able to
call yourself out,
and stop yourself from doing it
again.
Yeah.
So I wanted just to put it out there. Just being aware that I have this limiting belief is very, 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 very important.
Yes.
Because now when you are doing it, you can call yourself out. And now the next thing is to challenge it. Challenge. If I have a limiting belief, I say I'm not good enough, I have to ask myself, is that true? No, I'm good enough. Yeah.
I mean, wow, look at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you say that you're not good enough? You are good enough. You're strong, you're intelligent, you're confident. I think maybe this is where affirmations come in.
I'm going there. But first of all, you need to challenge them. That's from awareness, it's challenging. And how do you challenge them? It's by you looking at the things in your life. I can be saying I'm not good enough, yet I've accomplished so many things. You have to look at the things in your life that you have done, and also ask yourself, would somebody who has done this be not good enough?
Let me take you back a little bit. You've talked about not being good enough, and maybe someone has done so much. Going back to the why, do you think this is because maybe somewhere in their childhood they were not appreciated enough? That's why they feel like no matter what they do will never be up to the standard or the thought of maybe their guardian, their parents, their sister, their brother, their uncle, their aunties, their cousins, or even friends. Maybe they never.
I get you. It's like you are seeking validation.
Exactly.
You're seeking validation to be good enough, or for people to be proud of you.
Yeah.
And to see, that's another thing, you need to validate yourself, because first of all, it begins with you. You are the most important person, and you need to validate yourself. Because validation should not be coming from external environment and other people, but it should always come from you.
from the in out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that is very important. You need to be proud of yourself first before everyone else is proud of you. Because if you wait for them to be proud of you, then the external environment or other people will influence how you feel about yourself.
Okay.
But if I'm proud of myself and I validate my own self, that means I don't care about, it's like,
That means you'll if you've done so much, you will feel good about it, right? Because you already validate yourself. Is that what you mean? Or
no,
maybe
I
you
mean
can
like, it's
help
not,
me understand better.
it's not about what you've done, because sometimes you can find that you've not done much, but the willingness to accept that you have this problem is actually a progress.
Okay.
So it's not about how much you've done, because it's literally not just about what you've done, but just about appreciating yourself as a person. I'm sure even the least person, let me tell you, there's no one who doesn't put in effort in whatever they do. Even somebody selling nyanyas or whatever in the
That's an
market,
effort.
I mean, it's an effort.
Yes.
It takes a lot of hard work. You should be proud of yourself for doing that. Yeah. So it's not about how much you have done, it's appreciating yourself as a person,
Okay. No, actually, the thing that made me talk about that is because you said there are people who they've done so much, but still they feel like they're not good enough, yet they've done so much.
Yeah.
Is that validation or a limiting belief?
It's a limiting belief, because you still feel not good enough.
Yeah.
Despite all the things
that
you've done, you still feel like I'm still not good enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about validation, it's about competition, because you are not good enough compared to who.
Yes.
And that's why I talked about you always validating yourself. Because if you're validating yourself, there is no compared to you, because you're your own competition. So if you're saying I'm not good enough, ask yourself compared to who, because there's no one to compare. You are only Val.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if validation comes from you, there is no one to compare with.
Okay.
So if you tell yourself I'm not good enough, you're just gonna ask yourself compared to who? Because I'm my own competition. And then you should not feel not good enough if you are your own competition. But if you are comparing yourself to others, obviously you're gonna feel not good enough.
That's true. That's true. So now we've learned how to deal with it. What are some of the things, or
sorry, I think we have not finished. There was something we were doing. We were talking about how to deal with it, and we talked about awareness that the limiting belief is there. We talked about challenging the limiting belief.
Yes.
And then there is another thing. You are supposed to write down that limiting belief, and then write the opposite of that an empowering belief. So if I say I'm not good enough, the empowering belief will be I am good enough, I'm worthy, I'm awesome, and those are now the affirmations. They can turn to be affirmation. For me, I love to go a bit extra and find out what my creator says about me.
Yes.
Because if you want to know anything about an Apple device, if Steve Jobs tells you that an iPhone can do this, you are going to believe them, because they are the creator.
Yes, that's true.
Exactly. So I go to my Bible and I check what does God say about me. I find verses that tells me that I'm good enough, that I'm worthy, I'm chosen, I'm the best, I'm what, and that God has a plan for my life. And I add those verses as my affirmation, because now I'm not just telling myself, oh, I'm good enough. Sometimes that little head tells you, who said that?
Yes.
And you're like,
it's God.
Me. But when you go with the Bible verse and say, I'm chosen,
this is what God says about me.
There's no little voice to question you.
Yes. Yes.
So I tend to, I'm not saying affirmation are not good, but I found that using the Bible scriptures, they have really also been very helpful.
Yeah, I remember when you sent me a link to listen to.
Yeah.
And honestly, it really encouraged me. And there's a part speaking about fear. No, we talked, and there is different types of fear.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So in the Bible, I came to discover that it says do not fear 365
very
times.
True. Yes.
So it means every day God tells you do not fear.
Yeah.
So if you're here and you're fearing anything, just know God says do not fear. So every day, if that any day that any moment that it ever comes to you that I have fear of this, I don't want to do this because I'm afraid of this outcome, remember what God is telling you. Do not fear. That is one thing that I really got from the link. And also have courage, be strong. So I am strong.
Wow.
I am courageous.
Amazing.
I am fearless. Yes.
You go now. Yeah. So actually, to add on what you've said, is this one verse? It is in, I don't know, it's Timothy 2:1. I don't know, but it is like my go-to verse. It says, do not, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of a sound mind. You know. So every time you feel fear, you should declare that. Because you know, our words they are life and death. You know, they have the power. There's
power in the tongue.
Yeah,
the Bible says there's power in the tongue.
So if you speak that, the fear will disappear, because God has given us love, power, and courage. So about fear, it's not even a topic to discuss. It's not a good thing. I was joking. I was telling some people, I told them, even fear, if you have fear for a cockroach, it's not even good.
Yeah, that's true.
Fear is fear. Your body. And another exciting thing, I forgot to talk about it. You were talking about how you can get anxious. You're excited about doing something, but then again you start having fear, anxiety. Do you know that our body, the same way that our body reacts to fear, is the same way our body reacts to excitement? So if you're going to perform somewhere or do something that excites you, your body is going to react the same way it reacts when you are afraid.
Oh yeah, it has happened to me. When maybe I'm talking about something, and what I'm talking about, I have fear of it happening. I actually feel it in my body. So when I realized that, I just decided, as you told me, you just look on the other side. What's the positive side of it? Start thinking about it, and then now go for it. So actually, when you are excited, but it turns to fear, you have to tell your mind, tell them, hey, let's have a conversation here. This is not fear, this is excitement. It's like you're driving, and then you put on some brakes, and then you're like, Val, stop. Or Monica, Shiko, stop. It's like that. You have to tell your mind, this is not fear you are feeling. You're actually excited. And I realize that really helps. Because sometimes I would want to do something, and once I get that opportunity, all of a sudden the fear comes in. But kumbe it was not fear, it was excitement. So once I tell my mind, you know what? Actually, we are not afraid. We are excited. There's a change. It's like, I'm excited. I'm pumped to be here. So even become more confident.
Because you know, it's excitement. It's not fear. Because fear comes from a bad place, but excitement, it's a good place. So
Wow. I hope you guys have learned so much. So maybe Shiko Limitless. You can tell us where people can find you. How can they reach you?
So for me, you can find me on Instagram. I go by the name Shiko Limitless, but my life coach section, I have a different account. I go by the name Shifted Mindset, and I share a lot of content to encourage people and to teach people exactly about what I'm talking right now about. And you can also find me on YouTube. I'm gonna start sharing more content like this. And I hope we'll do a video with Val. You'll go and watch that too.
Yes, actually guys, make sure after this video you go to the next, to her channel.
Shiko Limitless.
Shiko Limitless. Like SHIKU. Shiko Limitless, and subscribe to her YouTube channel.
And I said Shiko Limitless because I believe we are limitless. We can do everything we put our mind into.
That's true. Thank you so much, and thank you for the way you've been there along my journey in self-development.
Yeah.
You've been my friend,
True.
like a true friend,
Yeah.
a coach. Thank you for coming to my channel.
True.
Thank you for sharing with us the knowledge that you have, and we hope that we'll be seeing you in our channel.
Yes, I'll
Like,
be honored
more often.
to talk about these things.
Yeah, we can come and talk about other topics. Maybe you guys can let us know what are some of the things that you'd like to learn from Shiko.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about this topic? Maybe you can even go to her channel and ask her the questions. If there's anything that you would like us to talk about, you can let us know. Yeah, and if you're still watching, thank you so much.
Yeah.
If you haven't subscribed, please do.
And also, sorry,
Yeah.
let them tell us about their limiting beliefs too.
Yeah.
You have them.
Actually
Let
share,
us
you know,
yeah.
once you once told me, once you share something,
Yeah.
it's like it's half solved. We even
Yeah.
say that in life, right? A problem half shared is a problem half solved. So once you talk about it, at least you accept that this is what has been happening to me, and now you can be able to deal with it, and you can be able to do some of the exercises. You can approach Shiko and she can take you through the process whereby you can become limitless.
Amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Don't forget to ask the questions,
And
comment, share,
and like the video.
and subscribe. And as I always say, always come with this affirmation, or begin your day with this affirmation: good things will happen to me today, and good things will happen through me today. Thank you so much, Shiko.
Amazing. Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.